the thumping, like you said, week one against Wesco East. It was rough for you guys. It was a shutout. What was it like keeping everybody's spirits up this week, letting them know that hey, that's just one game and you can't let that define your season? Like you say, trying to find your identity. What was the week leading up to last night's game like for you guys?
You know what, Clay? Our boys showed up a week ago on Saturday with a great attitude, gave us great effort, and the resiliency shown by these 16, 17, 18-year-olds is unreal. And they put it behind us. I mean, we tried not to talk too much about it. Hey, it happened. Let's move on to the next one. We've got an opportunity for redemption. And last night was certainly a great feeling, coming back and finding a way to come out on top. So, but our boys, all you can ask for as coaches is great attitude, great effort, the controllables. And our kids control that, and they're going to feed off of the controllables that the coaches have also. So our coaching staff, I mean, we could have felt sorry. I told our boys, look, don't feel sorry for yourself after last week's loss. Nobody's going to feel sorry for you. So there's no reason for you to feel sorry for yourself. Let's bounce back. Life's about adversity and learning how to overcome. And that's the thing that athletics teaches you. And we certainly did face our adversity early on in the year. But, I mean, I'm just glad that our boys were able to bounce back and we move on to the next one.
Now, Coach, you've had some epic games against Edinburgh North. It's not like you guys are unfamiliar with them. And,
no.
Last year was a tough game. This year it seems like it's another one. What is it about that rivalry or that game?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't. Yeah, it's a rivalry, but you know what? Last night's game was played clean. Good sportsmanship was practiced. But you are right, Jake. We have had some good epic battles, and that's what we expect. Edinburgh North is gonna test us, and they're gonna bring out the best in us. And I'd like to think that we do the same to them. But we enjoy playing them because we know those kids are big, they're tough, and they play football well. And so there's a reason why we scheduled them, we put them on our schedule. And Coach Sines, Coach Franz, those guys do a damn good job. Marty Hammond and last night was no exception.
Now, last night they go up early on that long bomb. Especially after what happened the week before, how do you kind of calm your team down at that moment?
Well, I mean, I think one of the things is just stay positive. You start browbeating kids and tearing them down, you're going to take their confidence. Of course, you're going to make corrections, but a lot of times it's about approach. Yeah, it's an emotional game, but at the same time, those teams and those people that can control their emotions are usually going to stay level-headed, and that certainly was the case last night. And so, I think our boys, we gave up some yards and big plays, but at the end of the day, I think they showed their true grit and character, and I don't think there was any sense of panic by them. And so, when you see that, you as a coach, we get a good feeling for the group that we have, and I definitely feel that we were better, that we've improved, that we made improvements from one week to the next. Last week we had all JV players in our field position, and that was their first introduction to Friday night football. Last night, well, they're not rookies anymore. They have a game of experience under their belt. So even albeit one game, but I guarantee you, they had a better feeling. They had a little bit more maturity last night than the week before.
I've got to ask you, Coach, on that winning touchdown. Diego Vela tosses it, 5 seconds left, finds Adrian Solis in the end zone, and apparently you found Adrian Solis as well. You told the monitor you didn't know that he was in the game and said whoever put him in the game made the play of the game. Did you find out, Coach, who when the substitution was made?
Well, that was our receivers coach, Daniel Sanchez and Phil Romero, and you know what? Those guys do a good job, and it made sense. We put Blake Klein in at quarterback, and he got gassed, and Adrian was there. He was, he's our third slot. He's our rotational slot back, and so he got some good reps while Blake, tried to catch his breath. And there at the end, Hector Zavala, our slot opposite of Blake, has had two tremendous games. We're talking about somebody who's very unselfish. He takes pride in blocking. He was a little gassed, and so it just made perfect and logical sense to insert Adrian in there. He's fresh. He's got fresh legs. He's hungry. And he made a great play. Diego made a great play. I'm so happy and proud of Diego because, we had some misfires. We had opportunities to have scored 2 touchdowns on previous occasions, and for whatever reason, we just didn't execute. So I'm glad that he had an opportunity to redeem himself. Showed a lot of poise. Diego's a young man that if he makes a mistake, he doesn't get down on himself. He stays positive, and that's what you need. Good players are going to have that mentality.
You've got so many guys that you have just, like you mentioned, Coach, thrown into the fire here and moving them around and putting them at different positions and trying to find the best places for them. But you've got athletes who it seems like are excited to do that and go to different positions and play quarterback or play slot or play running back or do all these different things that you guys are asking them to do. They seem to be very versatile, and that seems to be the hallmark of the skill players on this team.
Well, I mean, that's part of the culture that as a coaching staff we try to create here. All for one, one for all. We're not about one specific player. We don't have a prima donna type all-star player, but we've got a good group of athletes with good skill level that play together and that are unselfish. And I think that starts from the coaching staff and what we preach in our off-season. And you see that. You see the contributions being made by different individuals. And, the motto is whatever it takes. Whatever it takes to win our game. And we during the week, we practice what we call crossovers. And so you'll see Ruben Davila. You'll see Gable Thomas, our 2 starting outside receivers, going in on defense. If we need to, we'll put Blake in there at safety, or we'll bring in a defensive player and slip him in there on offense. That's just, we're not going to leave any stone untouched there. We're going to just try to find ways where we can put our best 11 on the field at one time.
And that takes a lot of creativity from a coaching staff, doesn't it, Coach?
Yes, it does. I mean, our staff does a good job. We meet every weekend. We analyze our game. We look at and game plan the next opponent, and who needs to move where, and those are things that I think all staffs do, and we're no exception. We
are talking to Coach Ron Adame of the Sharyland Rattlers. You are listening to The Huddle on Fox Sports 1700 and 956sports.com. I'm Clay Williams, CBS 4 Sports Director. You, sir, are Jake Berry.
Yeah, a lot of people call me Sideline Jake. But Coach, nobody calls me that, but I like to make that up. It's almost like saying I scored touchdowns. No, hey, Coach, in the game, at one point I remember watching your receivers. They were catching little bubble screens, and it seemed like you guys had some kind of blocking scheme where they were just cut back lanes and cut back lanes and cut back lanes because your guys were catching a 5-yard, it would seem like it would be a 5-yard, catch, and turning it into 12, 15 yards.
These are our blocking schemes are created by our receiver coaches and our offensive personnel, and it's about executing just based on how they're lining up. And before every game, we talk to our boys about, hey, go take claim of the box, go put your flag in the box. The same thing with the perimeter. I mean, we tell our receivers it's not just about catching passes. You've got to block your tail off. And we try to put them in the perfect situation where we've got pads on people out in the perimeter, and our ball carriers got to read those blocks. And so, I think it's something. It's by design, based on the front and the way defenses are lining up. But really, bottom line is it's about execution, Jake. It's about our boys executing. You can have the greatest plan, but if there's no buy-in from the kids, then that plan is going to be worthless. Our kids buy into our system and they understand what we're trying to do. So it's great to see them execute the plan that we practiced all week.
Well, it seemed like it worked last night. And you guys have, a bye next week?
We've got a bye, and we'll open up District 31 5A opens up this coming week, and we just happen to open up with a bye, and so we'll have 2 weeks to prepare for Valley View.
Fantastic. Well, I mean, it's got to be a lot better to go into the bye week on a win. That's for sure, right, Coach?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Well, thanks, Coach, for joining us this morning, and best of luck in 2 weeks against Valley View.
I appreciate that, gentlemen.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks for being on, Coach. Appreciate it. Good talk.